We live in a world obsessed with physical well-being. Gyms are packed, diets are debated, and bodies are sculpted. But what about our minds? Behind the smiles and perfectly filtered lives, a silent epidemic rages on. Mental health issues are not confined to the pages of medical journals or whispered in hushed tones. They are woven into the fabric of our society, impacting millions across the globe. The World Health Organization estimates that nearly 2/3 of people with a known mental disorder never seek help from a health professional at all. This staggering statistic underscores the invisible nature of these struggles. We often fail to recognize the signs, mistaking them for weakness or a character flaw. The stigma surrounding mental health prevents individuals from seeking the help they desperately need. It's time to shatter the silence and acknowledge the pervasiveness of mental health issues. It's time to stop seeing these struggles as something to be ashamed of and start treating them with the same urgency as any physical ailment. It's time to recognize that mental health is not a luxury. It's a fundamental human right. Depression is not simply feeling sad. Anxiety is not just being a worrier. These are complex illnesses with a wide range of symptoms that extend far beyond a temporary dip in mood. Depression can manifest as a crushing weight, a loss of interest in things once loved, and a constant feeling of emptiness. Anxiety can grip you with fear, trigger panic attacks, and make everyday tasks feel insurmountable. Misconceptions about these conditions are rampant. People often trivialize these experiences, urging sufferers to snap out of it or just be happy. These dismissive attitudes invalidate the very real struggles of those battling mental health issues. They perpetuate the dangerous notion that these conditions are a choice, a sign of weakness, or something to be overcome with willpower alone. The truth is, mental illnesses are often rooted in a complex interplay of genetic predisposition, life experiences, and brain chemistry. They are not a reflection of one's character or strength. Just as we wouldn't tell someone with a broken leg to just walk it off, we should not expect someone struggling with depression or anxiety to simply get over it. The numbers paint a stark and alarming picture of the global mental health crisis. According to the World Health Organization, close to 800,000 people die by suicide every year. That's one person every 40 seconds. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide, affecting over 300 million people. These figures are not mere statistics. They represent real lives lost, families shattered, and potential unrealized. The COVID-19 pandemic has further exacerbated the mental health crisis. Lockdowns, social isolation, economic hardship, and the fear of the virus itself have taken a toll on people's mental well-being. A study by the Kaiser Family Foundation found that during the pandemic, about 4 in 10 adults in the U.S. reported symptoms of anxiety or depressive disorder, up from 1 in 10 adults who reported these symptoms from January to June 2019. These statistics underscore the urgent need for increased awareness, accessible mental health care, and a societal shift in how we perceive and address mental health issues. We can no longer afford to ignore this crisis. The time for action is now. Section 4. When silence speaks volumes. Personal stories of struggle and hope. Behind every statistic is a human story, a life touched by the complexities of mental health. Take, for instance, the young college student battling crippling anxiety, afraid to leave her dorm room for fear of a panic attack. Or the successful businessman grappling with depression, his outward confidence masking a deep sense of despair. These stories, often shared in hushed tones or hidden behind a facade of normalcy, reveal the true face of mental illness. I've been there. In the depths of my own struggle with depression, I felt utterly alone, like I was drowning in a sea of despair. The world seemed bleak and hopeless, but I also know the power of reaching out, of breaking the silence and sharing my story. It was through connecting with others, seeking professional help, and finding healthy coping mechanisms that I was able to find my way back to the light. These personal stories serve as a powerful reminder that no one is immune to mental health challenges. They highlight the importance of empathy, understanding, and creating a culture where people feel safe to share their struggles without fear of judgment. Section 5. Breaking the stigma. A call to action for support and understanding. It's time to dismantle the stigma surrounding mental health. We must create a world where seeking help for mental health concerns is as natural as seeking help for a physical ailment. This requires open conversations, education, and a fundamental shift in how we view mental illness. It's time to stop whispering about these issues in the shadows and start addressing them with compassion and understanding. Each of us has a role to play in fostering a more supportive and inclusive environment for those struggling with mental health. We can start by educating ourselves about mental health issues, challenging misconceptions, and speaking out against stigma. We can listen with empathy to those who are struggling and offer support without judgment. And we can advocate for increased funding for mental health resources and accessible, affordable care for all. Remember, you are not alone. There is hope, and help is available. By breaking the silence, sharing our stories, and supporting one another, we can create a world where mental health is valued, understood, and prioritized. Together, we can foster a culture of compassion and understanding, paving the way for a brighter, healthier future for all.